Well, thanks very much for clicking on the video link. This is an idle chat with Linda Spiegel. My name is Natalie. And if you're familiar with idle chats, you know that these cards will dictate the conversation that we have. Linda, you ready to go?
Sure.
All right. Miss Linda, first question. It's a doozy. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Good girl. All right. Miss Linda, where is the most uncomfortable place you've ever slept?
On the floor in the airport in New York, and I had graduated from law school and was going to London, and the flights were delayed and we had no choice but the floor.
You know, that's pretty rough camping.
And I've been camping and that was worse. The airport floor.
I prefer the actual camping.
Yeah.
I agree. Miss Linda, what is the best card game?
Best card game. You know, right now I'm going to say war, and only because my mom, who is 97 and does have some dementia, can still play it. But she still recognizes the cards and the numbers. Okay. When we get to war, she needs a little help with that, but she can tell me each time, you know, which one is larger than the other, and we can play it. So I'm happy with war right now.
You know, it's the little things that give us joy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful that she still can, she knows her numbers and she knows which one is larger than the next. And, you know, you never know what else is going on in behind the scenes in the head. There's a
That's
lot
right.
that doesn't come out. And she's a lawyer.
But it's also wonderful that you play with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good on you. Miss Linda, if you have the opportunity to design a new bank note, whose face would you put on it?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
There you go. Big fan of the RBG.
My second granddaughter was named for her.
Oh,
so
that's lovely.
yeah.
What a nice tribute. All right, Miss Linda, if you could have an all expenses paid trip to see any world monument, which monument would you choose to visit?
That one's hard. I don't know if it's considered a world monument, but I would go to Jerusalem to see the wall.
I would consider that a monument. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the best thing that has happened to you today?
Best thing that's happened to me today. I got an email from a friend who's back from a trip wanting to get together for a Zoom lunch. So we're trying to schedule that.
Well, isn't that nice? Yeah, Zoom lets us connect in so many great ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, she lived up here. I'm in New Jersey, and she moved down to North Carolina. So that's how we keep in touch.
As long as you keep in touch, that's really what matters most, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Next card. What sport could you play the longest in during a televised game without anyone discovering that you're not really a professional athlete?
Is that now or 20 years ago?
I will take either of those.
Swimming.
Look at you go. All right. You a swimmer at university?
No, but when I was young, I actually beat another person who was training to be in the Olympics for swimming. So that was fun. And I went up through the Red Cross to be a water safety instructor. So I would do a lot of swimming.
Wow, that's impressive. Very nice. Let's see. What languages do you wish you could speak?
Japanese.
I don't know that one.
Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know any. Well, I guess I
Oh,
could
I mean,
count.
you don't know any Japanese.
Yeah, ichi ni, 1, 2, 3. That's as far as I get.
Arigato. But I like sushi, so I think Japanese would be great to be able to discuss that with the chef in their language.
Right. I am a huge fan of sumo wrestling. So it would be lovely to know enough Japanese to know, how to place a bet for the sumo wrestlers. There's a life goal. What is more useful, book smarts or street smarts?
I think they're equal. You need both.
So true, and such a mediator's answer. How many hours per day do you spend online?
Between 6 and 8.
That's probably average, isn't it?
Right, because I'm also an arbitrator, so when I schedule my arbitrations, they're scheduled for 6 hours. Sometimes they go longer because you need to do a full day. So it's, a lot of time.
Yeah, and the hours stack up fast, don't they, Miss Linda? Are you a big music fan?
I enjoy music. I don't know if I'm a big fan. Give it a shot. I see what I can do.
All right. If you say Bruce Springsteen, you're my new best friend.
Oh,
Do
sorry.
you remember the first concert that you attended?
I believe it was Simon and Garfunkel in Queens, in Flushing.
Wow. Color me green with jealousy. Simon and Garfunkel. All right. Miss Linda, what is the best action movie?
Um, I'll go with the original Star Wars.
Look at you pulling out the classics. Yes, ma'am. What's the best board game?
I'll go with Risk.
Another classic.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's the good one. What do you know now that you wish you had known when you were 20?
Um, Maybe how important physical activity is. I was always very athletic, so it was a part of what I did, but it wasn't necessarily a priority. It was just something I enjoyed. But I think we start really young and make it a part of your day. It's really important. And the younger you start, the better.
Absolutely true. I wish I could say to my younger self, be more gentle with your knees, right? Let's see. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. I'm allergic to cats.
Well, then that's not much of a hard hitting question, is it? Miss Linda, can you do the Vulcan hand greeting? Live long and prosper, my friend.
I'm a Star Trek fan, so have to be able to do that.
Right? Absolutely. Miss Linda, I'll ask you the same question that I ask everybody as the last question. And that is, tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do, who your clients are, your processes, and then tell me what you love most about the work we do in the resolution industry.
Okay, I'm going to answer the second part first.
Sure.
And when I get to the point in a mediation where I say to one party, put yourselves in the shoe of the other party, and they actually stop and think about it and then come up with a solution to the problem. It's wonderful because it's a good solution. And this I've seen work, a lot. I do a family mediation as well as civil and other mediations. But yeah, they're getting divorced, but they know each other and they know it's going to work in their family. So if they stop being adversarial and just try and think about what's going to work, they can come up with something that's great. So I like when that happens. And I've seen it happen in families where there's children with disabilities, and I've seen it happen when there's a limited amount of income and they're trying to figure out, how to deal with it. It works. So I like that.
Yeah.
And
It's magical.
yeah, in terms of my background, I was a litigator for a very long time, and then about maybe 10, 15 years ago, I gave myself the gift of not being a litigator anymore. And I added mediation into what I do. I've been an arbitrator since the late 1980s, so I had been doing that. But I didn't want to fight anymore. And I'm a good fighter. I can fight as good as the rest of them, but I'd rather help them come together and to work things out. So as I said, I'm an arbitrator, I'm a mediator. In terms of my practice, it ranges from construction. I've been a construction arbitrator for the AAA since the 1980s. I do mediation all the way to family, because I did a lot of divorce litigation. And I recently gave a presentation to the ABA on elder care planning mediation. So it's a wide expanse. And that was one of the things I loved about law also, is that it was never boring. There's so many different things you can do. And as a mediator, it's the same thing. Every situation you walk into, it's different. It's challenging. It's working with people. It's trying to help them come to a satisfactory conclusion. It may not be each party's wish, but it's what they need and what they can live with. So I enjoy helping like that.
Yeah, help them find something durable and reasonable. And I think that's just magical.
Yeah, it is.
Magical. Well, Miss Linda, thank you so much for spending some of your valuable time with me. I'm really flattered that you joined me for an idle chat. Thank you.
And thank you. And I want you to know I'm there almost every Thursday listening to your presentation. Well, you're not necessarily presenting, but it's your work, we work for food, and I think that's wonderful.
Oh, thanks very much. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. Well, Miss Linda, thank you for your time in an idle chat. I will see you around the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Thanks.